Hello everyone, Lawrence here with Canyon's gravel bike. I have the top of the line model, so this is the GRAIL CF SLX 8.0 Di2 full carbon gravel bike. I've had this bike for 10 days now. I've done about 450 kilometers, and by now I think I have a very good understanding about what this bike is about, really. So let's start with that. What is the GRAIL about? Sure, it's about funky handlebars and grabbing a lot of attention, but it's also about a lot of gravel riding. See, here in Belgium, and I think in a lot of places, we don't really have a lot of really good mountain bike trails. We just have hundreds, thousands of kilometers of this sort of stupid dirt road, really, which is awful on a mountain bike. It's horrible on a road bike, but on a gravel bike, it's a lot of fun. So over the past 10 days, I've done 2 of the longest rides of my life, all on gravel with the GRAIL. So let's talk you through this. First of all, 2 frame options. There's the normal carbon fiber model and there's the SLX version, which is slightly lighter. So with those bikes, there's a few hundred grams of weight difference, really not that noticeable. It's just higher grade carbon fiber. Now, what really sets the GRAIL apart is of course the CP01 handlebar. This is this funky double-decker design with a really comfortable top grip that flexes. Can't really film it all that well because it's high speed vibration dampening. It's not suspension by any means, but it really does smoothen out cobblestones or gravel riding, which is what this bike is designed for. Canyon spec'd this bike with the VCLS 2.0 seat post. Now, this is a leaf spring style seat post design. It's full carbon fiber, super lightweight, but it dampens vibrations, especially the small vibrations you get from riding on cobbles or, in this case, gravel. It works really well, as I found out with the Exceed already, and I just really like this seat post. Something I don't like is the Physique Aliente saddle. I know this is probably a massive selling point to some of you, but my butt and Physique saddles just don't get along. In all though, the bike, while the frame is super stiff, the fork as well really stiff, the wheels really stiff, the stuff that you actually touch, so the handlebars and the saddle, that's very well dampened. So going on those really long rides is very comfortable if you get the right saddle. Now, when I first tried this bike a few months back, I treated it as a mountain bike. I thought it would be a lot like an early 2000s mountain bike, and over this testing period I did find out I was wrong about that. It's definitely more towards the road bike spectrum. It's great on road, it's super fast on the road, and it deals with gravel really well. But once it gets too bumpy, like the type of stuff you actually need some suspension and quite wide tires for, it does, you know, it no longer keeps up with a hardtail. That said though, it's really fast on everything else. So use the bike for what it is designed for. It's not a mountain bike like I first thought it would be. It's more like a road bike that you can definitely take off-road on gravel, through forests, on the cobbles, but it's not meant for jumping or really rough mountain bike trails. Canyon also positions this bike more as an adventure bike, so there are of course the bags that you can mount to it together with 2 bottle cages. So you can go on really long trekking trips, and that again is where the comfort and the efficiency of a bike like this comes in. So from that standpoint as well, it's really good. So this bike really is for, I guess, for the average Belgian cyclists. It's actually the perfect bike for the average Belgian cyclist. Over here, everyone's on road bikes, and then every now and then they get a mountain bike out to ride this sort of stuff. But mountain bikes are really boring to ride on this sort of stuff, and road bikes are really uncomfortable to ride on gravel. Now, I don't really want to talk a lot about the build kit, like the group set, because it varies from SKU to SKU, you know. Some people spend 2,600 euros on this bike, others will spend 4,600 euros on the top end model. All I can say is hydraulic disc brakes should have always been on road bikes. They're very easy to modulate, they provide a lot of stopping power, but because they are so easy to modulate, you don't go over the bars when you start braking. When it gets wet, not that we've had rain in months here, but when it gets wet, disc brakes still work really well. So I really like the build with this bike. Perhaps it should have been a clutched derailleur, perhaps it should have been a 1x drivetrain, but again, this bike gravitates more towards the road side of things than the mountain bike side of things, so I can perfectly understand the build on this bike. I think that what Canyon has done here is take something that's a very niche product like the gravel bike and turn it into an all-round product that can do mountain biking, road riding, adventure riding. It can pretty much do everything except for really rough sort of terrain that you would need a real mountain bike for. So with all that in mind, I can only really recommend this bike. I think it's a great product. The handlebars work, they're not a marketing gimmick, and yeah, I'll give this bike a thumbs up. If you like this video, also give it a thumbs up please, or hit the subscribe button and even the bell icon so you don't miss a future update. But for now, massive thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I really hope my batteries didn't die again because I'm in the middle of nowhere.